This is Saheed the Nigerian, and here's my perspective. Stanley Nwabali, who's going to save this guy from the downward path that he has chosen? Who's going to save him? Who's going to tell him? And he probably needs to calm down. Who is going to tell him that he needs to understand that the world does not revolve around him? Like the Yoruba saying says, Iru Ọlọ́run ni ò sí, Iru èèyàn wà, which literally means it is someone like God that you cannot find, but you can absolutely find other men. Or if you need another man, you will most likely find the person. Uzor came out with this type of attitude at some point in time, believing in a way that the world revolves around him, making statements that really showed he probably maybe, to an extent, do not respect the fans and whatever. But Uzor was never really belligerent towards his teammates. But to find Stanley Nwabali being belligerent towards his teammates is shocking. I noticed sometimes last year when Stanley Nwabali was being interviewed. No, this year. It was an interview that I found. And that was like the first or second time that I will hear him talk. And I discovered that when he starts to speak, acts like someone who wants to be confident, who really wants to prove to the world that he is confident. Because he wants to show like that he was someone who is very confident, he comes off as someone who is now overconfident. He speaks. I remember that conversation very well. Where he was speaking and he was saying, something like he does not really pay attention to anybody. He just do what he wants to do on the pitch or whatever, and the rest of it. And I was like, why this guy will probably have a lot of problems in the future, because I could see the overconfidence that he had. There was that dint of overconfidence in him, and I remember talking to a few people and also to a friend in particular, and I was saying, this guy is going to have a problem in the future. I never knew this situation, this World Cup qualifier situation and all that will come up. And here we are today. By the time I remember seeing him against Benin Republic, the first match we played in Abidjan, whereby Benin was at home and we played them. When I saw that, I knew there was something, this overconfidence thing is really, becoming a serious issue for this guy. The way he acted during that match too really showed it. That was when some of those mistakes started coming to the fore. That was when we started noticing that the way he acts towards his captains, the way he acts towards his teammates is nothing to write home about. And these things have been piling up until the mistakes against Zimbabwe happened. The eccentric way he acted with the Rwandans, because if you had VAR in the matches that we played against Rwanda, that guy Nwabali would have been red carded, and the whole World Cup dream that we had now would have been thrown in shambles. It would have been thrown in shambles now. But many of these mistakes that he was making, his teammates were covering up for him, especially the captain AFCON. He was covering up for him. Now, many of these players had been in the team ever before Nwabali came. The likes of Victor Osimhen, the likes of Chikwueze, the likes of Ndidi had been there way longer. This same Ndidi was the one that in the last match that we played against Benin that we won 4-0, was the one that Nwabali was pushing out of the way. Ndidi, the captain, mind you, I don't know who is talking to him. I don't know who is encouraging him. I don't know who is trying to make him feel like, he can act the way he likes in the team. Probably because he thought there's nobody that can take the shirt from him. And absolutely, I bet you, for the want of words that I'm saying now, I bet you he's going to lose his place in the coming fixtures. He's going to lose his place. Udigwe Maduka Okoye came back from the ban that he had just for a few months, and he walked into the first team playing against Cremonese just this past weekend and putting up a solid performance. He put up a solid performance. The game ended 1-1. Udinese versus Cremonese. Udinese was away. The game ended 1-1. The stats if you look at the stats, the match statistics, Maduka Okoye did quite well. Now, with Maduka Okoye coming back, and with the way that I said earlier that Eric Shell have started, which we've seen before, would rather prefer Maduka Okoye above Nwabali because of the weaknesses that I mentioned earlier. That's why I said I can bet you that with this comeback that Maduka Okoye has had, Maduka Okoye will most likely be between the sticks, and that will put Stanley Nwabali, obviously, will push him off the scales. I think this is needed for Stanley Nwabali to sit up, and I can tell you, Maduka Okoye will most likely be between the sticks. If that happens, it is what it is. It is what it is. And if you look at it, which I've mentioned also, Maduka Okoye seemed to be a better player. Or in terms of experience and, supposedly international football. Please understand what I'm trying to get at here. Playing in Europe, playing in a top flight league, Maduka Okoye will get the nod. He will get the nod. With all these mistakes, he will get the nod. Maduka Okoye, his emotional stability is way better than that of this guy and of Stanley Nwabali. I remember Maduka Okoye when you were in the friendly that we played the last time, and Maduka Okoye was very good in that friendly. And obviously, it was obvious that the team selectors discovered that Maduka Okoye is a type goalkeeper with high quality experience, when maybe in European football, so to speak. At least I believe you understand what I'm trying to get at here. And Maduka Okoye, who has been in that type of environment for quite a while, with Udinese, top flight experience. If you put Nwabali side by side by that guy, Nwabali cannot really do what Maduka Okoye and the type of experience Maduka Okoye has had. But because we had a goalkeeper crisis during the Nations Cup, the last Nations Cup, that is what gave Maduka Okoye was not, and that is what gave Nwabali the opportunity. I gave him the opportunity. Now we got to the final. He did quite well. But maybe it's football at our level. If you want to go to the World Cup, I'm telling you, the weaknesses of this guy will obviously show. And the weaknesses are like my rise of weaknesses, so to speak. Multiple weaknesses, which we can see. So someone need to talk to him. Now, I understand the aspect of people also coming up, which I think is an emotional excuse, basically, whereby they said, oh, okay, his dad and his mom died, at a very short period and what have you, and probably maybe that could have, got into him or got into his mind and all that maybe that is why he's acting the way he's acting now and all that. But if we want to put it like that, if we want to say that is the reason, then maybe he shouldn't be keeping for the Super Eagles as of now, because he's probably not in the right mental state that he will need to keep for the Super Eagles. If we want to use his father's death, sorry about that though, but his father's or his mother's death as a reason of why he's acting this way. If you want to tell us that, the psychologist will have to talk to him because of the loss of his father, no, there are players and people who will lose, loved ones and stuff like that, and they will still keep well for their country. And note this, if the mistake he's making and is caused by his emotional upheaval because of what happened in his family or whatever, that emotional upheaval, nobody is going to accept. Nigerians are not going to accept the fact that it's such an emotional upheaval did not allow us to go to the World Cup. Nigerians are not going to accept. So he needs to understand that if he knows he's not in the right mental state, let him sit down. Now, if it's because he lost his parent, I don't think that is what is causing him to misbehave towards the players. Towards his teammates. For him to not even bring this issue, sending cryptic messages 4 days or 5 days after the World Cup qualifier that we played, for him to now bring it into the open, the issue he probably had with Calvin Bassey, the issue he had with Osimhen, and a few others like that, for him to bring it out into the open, it shows you this guy may not last too long in that team. Like I used that proverb earlier, that Yoruba proverb earlier, Iru Olorun ni o si o, iru eyan wa o, which means it is someone like God that you cannot find. But you can find human beings. We can find other goalkeepers, mind you. We can find a goalkeeper in Maduka Okoye as we speak. Adeleye can deputize Maduka Okoye. Yes, you can still keep Nwabali in the team, but Nwabali may go down the pecking order. He may drop down the pecking order with his overconfidence and with the way he is acting towards players who senior him in the team. Like I said earlier, Uzoho never thought he was going to lose his position. The 22-year-old Uzoho, we gave him the opportunity to keep at the World Cup in 2018. After that, Uzoho, he lost form. And what did Nigerians do? Nigerians said, look, let's leave this guy out. And eventually, he has been dropped out of the team. I remember when we played our match against, was it Cote d'Ivoire at the Nations Cup? Yeah, Cote d'Ivoire at the Nations Cup. And we were like, a goal ahead. What's it called? Yeah, we were a goal ahead. And there was about 10 minutes to the end. This guy got injured, Nwabali got injured, and eventually we needed somebody to come into that match. And Uzoho came in. I could remember how Ekong, was gesturing to Uzoho to stay back, because you will see that the back line was not confident of Uzoho being the goalkeeper at that point in time. Even for that remaining 10 minutes, the way Ekong gestured to Uzoho just clearly showed they are not so confident about him being between the sticks. That they were more confident about having Nwabali between the sticks at that point in time. But Nwabali had gotten injured and he left. But the thing is, this same Uzoho, there was a friendly we played against Saudi Arabia. We were leading 2-0, and there were about two two goals that Uzoho conceded in that friendly. The one against Zimbabwe, we had a match against Zimbabwe as well. Uzoho conceded a goal also against Zimbabwe. I think it was one of these World Cup qualifiers thing as well. He conceded a goal. He conceded a long-range shot that he shouldn't have, practically conceded, which was part of what created the situation that we found ourselves as well. And after that, people said, oh no, Uzoho needs to go. This is the same Uzoho that we had at the World Cup in 2018, that we were confident to put that young man between the sticks. But he lost his place. Just about how many years down the line? Nwabali has started his own. He is going to lose his place. It is obvious that he's going to lose his place. Even I know that because Maduka Okoye is not here, the team is not really confident in how Nwabali is acting. When Maduka Okoye comes back, they will put Maduka Okoye between the sticks. I think I can bet that. And when they do that, this guy is going to lose his place and nobody's going to remember him again. There was a time we probably thought, oh yeah, we had a goalkeeper like Vincent Enyama, and we thought we would never lose Vincent Enyama. We thought Vincent Enyama, oh yeah, Vincent Enyama, that we would never, we needed another goalkeeper. There was a time that Vincent Enyama was not even being used in the Super Eagles, that Osimhen took his place. Osimhen, even at that point in time, Osimhen was even, if you look at Osimhen was even almost as good as Vincent Enyama. The two of them were in the team. In Ghana 2008, yeah, I think it was Ghana 2008. I remember that at Ghana 2008, it was Ghana 2008, yes. In Ghana 2008, Osimhen, was the one between the sticks right through. And Vincent Enyama was in the team. When Vincent Enyama practically left the team, we got Carly Keme. Carly came out of left field. And everybody saw that, yes, we've gotten a goalkeeper, until Carly Keme had the health challenge that he had. When Carly Keme had that health challenge, it became something that we felt like, oh, we are losing a serious goalkeeper. So we started looking for goalkeepers again, until eventually we had to use Uzoho. Uzoho was not even like, oh, he's the best that we can have. We just needed to use him at that point in time. And that is what we did. So if Nwabali thinks he cannot lose his place, oh, that's a big mistake. That's a big mistake. He will the way he's acting now, he will lose his place. And Nigerians may not particularly remember too much of his heroics in the AFCON anymore. The guy needs to sit down and calm down. But I think one of the things that is best that will calm him down is to allow him to lose his place. When you put him as the second goalkeeper and let like Maduka Okoye be the first goalkeeper, then you will understand. Then besides, remember that we have some goalkeepers in the diaspora. What if you bring in someone like Ato Okonkwo in Wrexham in the English Championship? What if we bring somebody like Ato Okonkwo into the team? That means in a way, Nwabali, if you want to keep Nwabali, the competition is higher. now. So Nwabali need to sit down. Stanley Nwabali need to understand that the team is bigger than him. And there are some players in the team that are bigger than him. Players in the defense, people like Calvin Bassey, are his seniors in the team. Calvin Bassey may not be up to him in age, but they are his seniors in the team. People like Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen has been in that team since about, I think it's 2017. Victor Osimhen is his senior. Ndidi is his senior. Ekong is his senior. Semi Ajayi is his senior in terms of being in the team way longer. Samuel Chukwueze is his senior. Moses Simon is his senior. Why is Nwabali disrespecting all these players and sending cryptic and odd messages out there? Why? Like I said, he's probably going to lose his place. I hope he realizes it, and I hope he changes. And I hope that he learns from the past, maybe like from the Peter Rufais of this world, the Wilfred Agbonibares of this world, the Aloy Agus of this world. Till date, someone need to ask about Wilfred Agbonibare. Wilfred Agbonibare, because of his mistakes and loss of form at some point in time, yes, they took him to the World Cup, they took him to the Nations Cup, but he couldn't get his place anymore. He couldn't get his place anymore in that team. If Nwabali thinks he cannot lose his place, he is sorely mistaken. If I can put it this way, is there no elder in the house of Nwabali who will tell this young man that this journey of overconfidence that he has started, that if he's not careful, he may not come back from it soon enough? This is Saheed, the Nigerian, and that's my perspective.